Hey there, I'm Luke. Today we're going to be talking about a very important topic faced by many children with special needs: testing accommodations. We'll spend time defining exactly what this term means. We'll discuss some different assessments where accommodations can be made. We'll go through some different types of accommodations available to children with special needs. We'll cover how you, as a parent, will know whether or not these accommodations are being followed, and most importantly, what to do if they're not. And finally, we'll sprinkle in some helpful hints to help deepen your understanding of this incredibly vital but often misunderstood topic. All of this in today's episode of Special Education Decoded. All right, let's jump right in with defining what testing accommodations are and what this term means for your child. First, the official definition of testing accommodations: any accommodation made to any local, state, and or federally mandated assessments which allow students with disabilities to demonstrate their skills and knowledge in a testing situation. So let's do that in simple terms. It's allowing your child to take assessments in the way they understand it best. Now, before we flash a bunch of examples up on the board, it's important to note that the following list also applies to any student who qualifies for a Section 504 plan. Now for the list of assessments where accommodations can be made. EOG, end of grade assessments. Note that reading, math, and science are 5th and 8th grade only. EOC, end of course assessments. This includes Math 1, English 2, Math 3, and Biology. FE, or final exams. This includes Earth, Environmental Science, Physical Science, English 1, 3, and 4, Math 2, Discrete Math, World and American History, Civics, Social Studies, Science in middle school. CTE, or Career and Technical Education assessments. This includes Food 1 and 2, Apparel, Core and Sustainable Construction, Health Sciences, Personal Finance, Microsoft Excel, Word, Publisher, Robotics, a lot of different things. Pre-ACT, and this is for 10th grade, local accommodations apply. The actual ACT, 11th grade. Now, it's important to note that local accommodations apply unless you apply for ACT-approved accommodations. Also, tests that receive local accommodations are not sent to colleges for review. ACT work keys, local accommodations apply here as well. So, as you can see, testing accommodations cover a very wide range of assessments and exams for children of all ages. It's important to note that the list we just covered does not include classroom modifications. We're going to be discussing that separately here in just a minute. Now, let's turn our attention to the types of accommodations that are available for different learning styles that children may possess. Braille edition, large print edition, online or paper, pencil-based assessments, one test per page edition, assistive technology devices. Those may include color overlay, tinted screen, screen magnified, electronic pointing devices, Cranmer abacus, dictation to a scribe, interpreter, magnification devices, word-to-word bilingual, which could be English native language dictionary or perhaps even electronic translator. The student is allowed to mark answers in a test book. Test administrator reads tests out loud in English. Computer reads the test out loud while the student controls it. Multiple testing sessions, which can include testing a certain amount of time and then taking a break. Or read a passage along with a question and then take a break. The student could have extended time for the test. Finally, the student could take a test in a separate room. These can either be in a small group or one-on-one. It's important to understand that each of those accommodations fit a very specific need that a child has. Some of those needs may be somewhat obvious. However, others may not be as cut and dry. As a parent, it's important to know the types of accommodations that would work best for your child so you can fight, if necessary, for their rights. Let's start with the accommodations for children who are blind. That would include things such as Braille edition, Braille writer or slate, stylus, Braille paper, talking graphic calculator, read aloud test and administrator or by the computer, possibly extended time, multiple testing sessions, or even testing in a separate room. Let's discuss next the testing accommodations for children with low or poor vision. These can include large print edition, one test item per page, magnifying devices. The test could be read aloud by administrators or computers, and various forms of assisted technology. Here's some accommodations for children with limited mobility. Dictation to a scribe. The test is read aloud, testing in a separate room, and extended time. Let's cover some accommodations for children who are deaf. These could include interpreter using sign language, extended time, and a separate room. And finally, accommodations for student with limited English could include a bilingual dictionary or an electronic translator. Now, these are just a few examples. Each specific accommodation is based on the individual student's needs and what works best for that particular student. It's also important to note that the read aloud options are not available for reading or English assessments in any grade. So, how do you know that the specific accommodation for your child is being followed? Well, the best and easiest way is to look at it and have a conversation about the ROA, or Review of Accommodations form. So what is an ROA, or Review of Accommodations form? It's the form that shows the required accommodation documents on the IEP plan. It answers if the accommodation was provided on specific assessments, and this form details how the accommodation was provided, and it also explains how the accommodation was used. Next, how and when is an ROE used? Well, it's used after every assessment and discussed during an IEP meeting. Parents should review the ROA form at that time, but most importantly, discuss the information in detail with the IEP team. Finally, after your child takes local, state, or federally mandated assessments, they should also look at it. You can call the school and schedule a meeting, at which time you can review the ROA form. As a parent, what do you look for while reviewing an ROA? Simple. Are the accommodations being followed? If not, are they needed? If not, why not? Now, if your child is in high school, just ask them if they're receiving accommodations, because this is also the perfect time to discuss self-advocacy with them. Okay, so at this point, you should have an understanding of, number one, what testing accommodations are, the different types of testing accommodations available. Number three, which accommodations would work for certain children. Number four, how to ensure that the testing accommodations are being followed. Now it's time to discuss what you as a parent should do if it's determined that the accommodations are not being followed. First, address at the classroom level. Talk to your special education teacher about your concerns. Second, address at the school level. Talk to your principal at your child's school about your concerns. If it's still not addressed, go to number three. Address at the district level. If you have questions or concern, contact the Exceptional Children, aka EC, director in your district. Fourth, request mediation. If you still feel this issue is not resolved, you can request mediation. This is a voluntary process in which both you and the district must agree to participate. It's an informal meeting led by a neutral third-party mediator who helps parents and schools resolve disagreements. Fifth, file a state complaint. This is a signed written statement that alleges a school is not following special education laws and regulations found in IDEA. Remember, make sure you document document all the steps that you've taken. All right, now comes the extra bit of information regarding testing accommodations. First, accommodations are grouped into the following categories. Number one, presentation of the material. This could include things like read aloud, larger bubble answer sheets, etc. Number two, timing and scheduling of the exam, such as extended time, frequent breaks, response, for example, mark in the book, setting of the exam using different lighting, different rooms, things of that nature. And here are some questions to consider when selecting an appropriate accommodation. Again, this is completed during your child's IEP or the 504 plan development. Number one, what are your child's learning strengths and needs? Two, how does your child's learning needs affect their ability to achieve grade level content standards? What, if any, specialized instruction is needed for your child to achieve grade level content standards? Also, the IEP or the 504 meeting is a great time to discuss accommodations already being used. Now keep in mind, which accommodations are being used regularly in the classroom and during tests? What's your child's perception of how well their accommodations are working? Is your child willing to use the accommodations, or are they refusing? Number four, how well do you, the parent, think the accommodations are working? Are there any difficulties in administering the accommodations? Adding a new testing accommodation. Number one, ensure the new accommodation is put in place in a timely manner. Number two, practice the new accommodation with your child before it's used on an assessment. And that's it. I truly hope this video helped you understand exactly what testing accommodations are, how they're utilized, and how to ensure that they're being followed. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing to our channel and sharing this video. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see for an upcoming video or questions on this one, please leave a comment. We absolutely love interacting with our incredible community and strive to help simplify the crazy world of special education. From all of us at specialedresource.com, thank you for watching this episode of Special Education Decoded. See you in the next video.